everyone, you're listening to the Paranormalcast with Lee Enfield and Sally Morgan. We're going to be taking a look at some of the paranormal and unusual and supernatural news from around the world, including the young ghost hunters who have tackled the Washington YMCA, a serious ghost hunt taking place in Jacksonville US Army Base, and of course the latest news that will.i.am claims he is being haunted by none other than the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. We'll also be looking forward to our upcoming events through the first half of 2013, and we've got some great stuff coming up. So this is the Paranormalcast. I'm Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgan.
So, first piece of news we've got is...
young ghost hunters get help from paranormal experts in Washington YMCA. Yep, this is taking place. Let me see. Yeah, young ghost hunters are getting help. The idea being that there are 3 children, Jacob, Santana, and Timothy, no older than 14, have found lots of different occurrences happening in, I believe, a building. It used to be a library, or it is a library. Sorry, it used to be a YMCA building.
Mm-hmm.
An unknown voice heard over a speaker before music is turned on during an exercise class. A punching bag swinging when no one is near it, and doors banging shut. Apparently, they went through a load of history in a library nearby, and they found out that a fire happened in March in 1920 and destroyed much of the original building. And apparently, the description of a man who's been appearing with all these things going on matches that of a janitor who helped children escape the blaze but never made it out of the burning building. Okay. So they presume that maybe it was to do with him. It's brilliant. So they got in contact with the Seattle Paranormal Incidents Research and Spirit Team. You love this one. AKA Spirit. And the Spirit came to visit.
See, if your name naturally forms an easily pronounceable or memorable acronym, that's fine. It's when they take a word and try and find other words that fit that really drives me insane.
I just realised if my middle name was something like Nicola, it'd be S&M.
Huh. You're not anywhere.
No. You'd be Le. It was Le. Listen. Yeah, I'll wait there. So yeah, Spirit got in contact and they set up like an overnight seance, that's the word. About 10:30.
Should know that, really.
Probably. And they set up cameras, recorders, electromagnetic detectors and walkie-talkies as their connection to others at base camp. I love American
What I really like about this is that it's young people, was it late teenage, I think? Early teenage, okay, have gotten in touch, and it's almost like paranormal investigation work experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really like that. There should be more of it.
It's amazing. Yeah, so they asked.
I wouldn't want to do it. I hate children. But...
You hate everything.
It's funny because it's true.
So they got. Apparently, there's a guy called Brett Chemnitz, a spirit investigator from Renton. The idea being he was trying to explain to them that basically something goes past with need detectors, it will flash or make a noise. He and someone else asked questions to try and get a response from George or any other ghosts. So, you know, they found George, and apparently this is an unknown bloke, but suddenly they know the name, and this is actually in the news story. It goes, this is an unknown guy. Yeah, his name's George, so they're just kind of making stuff up as they go along now. Several people who were watching the video feed, they watched it the next day, said they saw a punching bag in the gym move when no one was around it.
That's pretty... If it's like a heavy bag?
Yeah,
or
like a proper punching bag.
Or a heavy bag?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty impressive poltergeist activity to get a heavy bag to say. If it was a speed bag, it was very much lighter, but it was a heavy bag. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, one of the teenagers, Santana, I don't know if this is a boy or a girl, whatever. Sorry, I don't know.
What is the name?
Santana. Not Santander, but Santana.
It's a guitarist.
Gotcha. They said, and I quote, "It was noticeable on the camera. I'm really excited. I hope they find something in the footage." The ghost hunt was fun, even though it's a bloke, he didn't see or hear anything that was creepy or bizarre. So
I think that's really good because, as we were saying earlier, ghost hunts are, even if you don't necessarily spot everything, and we always, obviously, when you do a ghost hunt or you do a seance, you are actively trying to encourage any interaction or any activity that you can. But I think even if you don't get anything, if you have a quiet night, it is still fun, because it's fun to try, and it's just fun to do. I mean, we do it fairly often. There's people who come along or do their own ones may not do it, because it's a nice novelty night out anyway, really. That doesn't get credited enough, I think, but it is fun, even if you're not getting a full Ghostbusters experience.
By the sounds of it, this youth group were getting pretty bored and went, shall we get in touch with someone? And this group of people called Spirit got involved and went, let's look for ghosts. This is probably going to be my favourite quote, though. One of the boys, Jacob, said he was quite interested in going on another ghost hunt someday, even though parts of this one were a bit scary. This kid is genuinely one of my favourite people, because on the page before he says, where was it? I know. We're curious and we thought we may not learn any more if we were to do it ourselves. We should at least find somebody who's professional about this and have nifty things to help them as well.
Well, nifty things do help.
And he said, after, that was a before, this is an after. I'd call people fools if they weren't afraid of doing this stuff. We are afraid of what we don't know, and we know as much about the paranormal and the supernatural as Benjamin Franklin had on electricity at his time. We still have a lot to learn.
I think that's pretty insightful,
yeah,
really.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that child, actually.
Yeah, that's very true.
He's like 12.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've done something. You've done Ghost Walks with me a couple of times. It is scary. It's always scary.
Of course it is. You're going into a territory where you're being told, by the way, someone died here and they might actually still reside here. Of course it's scary. You're expecting something.
Yeah, I don't think...
You're always on edge.
In many ways, I hope it's something I never get over. If I go in and if I walk into Sanford Orcas Manor House or Pluckley and I'm just completely blasé about everything and I'm probably doing something wrong, I think you need that kind of excitement as well.
Yeah, I got to admit, as much as I get scared by a thing, I almost enjoy that looking over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes it for me. And if you go to a place and you're not doing that, you're in the wrong place. Or all the ghosts are on holiday at the time. Who knows? They could possibly take vacations. We haven't.
I think he's very right about this. He's very level-headed. That's pretty much how I tackle the paranormals, where he says, we're afraid of what we don't know, and we know as much about the paranormal and the supernatural as Benjamin Franklin had electricity at the time. It's very true. To me, I do try and tackle it from a scientific approach. Obviously, there are spiritual elements to what we do and what I do when I'm doing investigations or seances, but my take on that is it's just a part of science that we haven't fully explained yet. And I think that's what this kid's saying. He seems very level. He should come along on one of our nights.
I would say invite him, but he's in America, so...
No, I'm not paying his travel.
God, no. I think the idea of a ghost doing this is quite interesting. If it is really the spirit of the janitor who tried to save children, it's quite sad that he never laid to rest as such. But at the same time, he sacrificed himself for children, which I think is quite a memorable death. Yeah. But then I don't get why you'd then go, see these punch bags? Yep, gotta make them move. And the voices as well, that doesn't bug me as such, but I really wish that had been worded differently, not have the, being heard before songs in an exercise class.
I think I do have an explanation why the punching bag move. When I've done house visits, people have always had poltergeist problems. One of the things I get most common is cupboard doors or cupboard drawers in the kitchen will open. Yeah. And another one I always get is shampoo and soap bottles in the bathroom are always getting moved around. Okay. And they say to me, why are they moving these? And the answer is because they can. Yeah. They are very light. They're easy to see that something has been played around with. It's not like they're just blowing a feather across the room and you go, okay, well, it's a feather blowing in the breeze. If a drawer has been pulled out or a bottle has moved, then it's quite a clear communication that something is there. And they're light, they're easy to pick up and slide or move, and that's why they pick up on them. And as much as we say, a heavy bag moving is quite impressive, really, if it was a gymnasium compared to a lot of the other equipment, a heavy bag is hanging from a fulcrum. You could swing it quite easily, and really, it's a pendulum.
Yeah, it's just a giant
pendulum, yeah.
Pendulum, yeah.
And that's why we're attracted to pendulums, because why do they move them? Because they can.
Yeah. Here's a question. when spirits move things, do they... is it like an invisible hand picking something and moving it? Or do they kind of use, like, not make themselves into a wind, but do they kind of make it possible for them to kind of push it? Or do they just kind of take it over and wiggle it along a bit?
As far as I'm aware, they will, where possible, take the path of least resistance. If it's a wheeled object, like just say a toy car, for example, then it will slide just because it's easier, as the easiest motion available to it. Things being picked up, and especially things being picked up and thrown, only really tend to occur in poltergeists or entity cases. Yeah, very rarely are things thrown maliciously, but they can be, and that's generally a poltergeist, or in very rare cases an entity or a demon. So the answer is they will take the path of least resistance every time, because if they are trying to move something, then their goal is very, very rarely to be, I'm going to open this drawer because I want something in it. They open the drawer because they want recognition that they are there, and that's just an easy, especially kitchen drawers these days, you only need a gentle push and the thing slides the other way out.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So that's why they do it, is because it's easy, it's open to them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they won't pick up a toy car, but they will slide it along, and yeah.
That's cool. Okay. Thank you for answering.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. On to our second story.
Okay.
Dun dun dun. Ghosts make contact at Jacksonville, USO. The USO of North Carolina is a place where service members and the local community can have fun and relax, but in its shadows lie mysterious forces that open and close doors when nobody is around, touch and scratch guests and employees, and leave people with an eerie feeling. Now, there's a series on Sci-Fi called Ghost Hunters. I've heard of it. I can't say I think I've probably watched it.
I'll be honest, apart from the big ones, but even people like us who watch most, if not all, of these programs around for research and just general interest purposes, it's not one of the big three. They kind of all blur into one, don't they?
There's a main investigator called Dave Tango, which sounds like his parents went, well, Alpha doesn't sound like a good name. Neither does Bravo.
Charlie seemed too obvious.
Dave. I can call him Dave.
Yeah.
Is that in it? I don't know, we like Dave.
Yeah.
Everyone knows a Dave. So he held an event there, and all the proceeds went to the USO. I think it's like a social club kind of thing. And it sold out like instantly, which is pretty impressive. They used the normal kind of tools. They used cameras, audio recorders, eyeglasses with cameras embedded, a ghost box that uses radio transmissions to communicate with paranormal creatures, and a puck, a device that speaks words based on environmental readings, which to me, I'm still thinking, it sounds like it sits in a room going, the paint is orange and the floor is fluffy.
I know what a ghost box is. Those are that's when you take a radio and basically tune it to a static frequency.
Gotcha.
And they can pick up voices and noises much like an EVP recording can, but you hear it in real time rather than having to record it and play it back. I've not heard of a puck before outside of ice hockey.
You're going to have to research. Maybe it's just that with, what is it, just like, by the sounds of it, it sounds like it kind of records what you're saying, or it records what it hears, and then says it back in a computer voice.
Okay.
Is what I can...
So
I'm not too sure. I mean, there's...
So it's kind of like one of those dictating programs you can get, I presume, yeah?
As far as I can work out, yeah, but instead of voice to text, it's a voice to voice.
Maybe it picks up on very quiet voices like an EVP and projects them. Yeah.
I mean,
that would actually creep me out more than just hearing external voice phenomenon, I think, would be to have it repeated at me in a robot voice.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds much more terrifying. No, I don't want that.
We'll explain it all later on what they found on it, but I'm not sure if maybe like if there's the wind, it'll go, the wind blew. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Ghost hunt for the visually impaired.
Yeah. I mean, there's, I think there's another one in here, but it doesn't say what the acronym is for, it's just called SEPIA. Apparently there's consistent activity here.
What we can do is spirit... Extra normal phenomenon.
In America.
Investigation Association.
Gotcha.
Gotta
Always
be.
Good. There were also reports of phantom music, apparently.
Okay.
In all honesty, it just sounds like there's kind of like it was all a bit creepy, and there was
But it sounds very busy for
yeah.
a paranormal investigation.
There was a girl who went, who apparently went to celebrate her sister's birthday. Happy sister!
Why not?
Happy birthday,
No,
sis! Go talk to dead people.
Yeah.
Do it, because we do them. We do seances.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll work.
Would you head nights? Kids' birthday parties? Anything?
We'll bring a cupcake for the main person.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And she said, and I quote, "I felt something, a cold breeze across my hand. Then it felt like someone put icy hot across my entire back. When we left the room, my back itched, so I asked my sister to look at it. She said, 'You've been scratched.' I didn't feel when it happened. I didn't feel anything scratch me. She had 2 scratches across her side and 1 across her back. Hours later, the scratches were still raised and bright red."
It's a pretty vicious scratch then.
It's pretty damn horrific. The reason I was mentioning the puck is because in the auditorium, the puck said a consistent stream of words. Its robotic voice spoke of an abyss, the storm, floods and water, hinting at a troubled spirit who meant an aquatic demise.
Okay.
Which really creeps me out because I'm still not quite sure what the hell this puck does. And as far as I'm working out now, it kind of sits in a room and goes, yeah, this happened and that happened, which we could put all over the world and we could actually find out so much more.
I'll look into it. I've literally never heard of one before.
It's, if you guys have or if you've got one or anything like that, let us know, seriously, because if you want to send it to us, we'll have a play. That'd be quite interesting.
But no, obviously I know a ghost box, I know EVP recorders and so forth, but I've never heard of a puck before. It's very strange.
Literally, this has left us like
there's quite you missed it. Was quite an impressive piece of poltergeist activity I came across. It says in a corner of the catacombs of the USO, on the dirt floor, lays a pile of old broken pencils. In Sepia's previous investigation, an old folding chair with a dip in its seat faced the corner. They decided to lay a new pencil in the dip. Soon after, a pencil was found on the ground. Nobody had entered the room, and the underground area didn't have any drafts to move it. And that's another perfect example of them moving something light because they can. And it was obviously they put it there as an experiment to see if any spirit or entity within that room would see that as a means of communication.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it.
Do you think ghosts do it as a kind of a... I mean, I know you get good and bad guys, but is it kind of a, challenge accepted kind of thing? Or is
Possibly,
it kind
there
of
is an element of that, yeah.
Because some of them kind of do it as a... I mean, especially the irate ones, it's kind of like, go on then, and they go, fine, I'll do this. But
the answer to that would be yes, but it depends on the situation and the person posing the challenge, for want of a better term.
So if you did it to the little girl we found in the vault, for example...
I did, didn't I? With the glass moving, yeah.
You say to her, go and move it, and she does.
Yeah.
But, like, the monk that's down there, like, we didn't really get that much. We got a few things about James and whether that was him or someone related. I don't think you could have, like, pushed him into doing anything, gone, go on then, do it. I think he would have gone, just, like, nudge something maybe. But
there's every chance he did do something, we just didn't notice it with everything else that's going on in that.
A little girl, perhaps. I mean, that was...
We think it was James Silver Monk pulled down the towel we had covering the window, That
still creeps me out.
It was
horrific.
It was pretty impressive poltergeist activity, for sure, yeah.
But this place, it just sounds like it's...
It sounds like they had a great time, and what I like about both stories we've covered so far is, especially because both these have come from mainstream press. I mean, one's a local paper in Oregon, and one's like a trade paper for the USO. So they're not paranormal or supernatural press. They are mainstream or trade press. And what they've both done is painted ghost hunts and seances and things like that in actually a surprisingly positive light for mainstream press, because they do tend to get swept under the carpet and they do tend to get kind of sneered at a bit. But what these ones do is actually highlighted how much fun they are to do as well, which is, and the answer is of course they're fun, that's why we do them. Yeah, we like doing them.
They've pretty much gone, bored, go to a seance,
which we would encourage.
Definitely. One coming up soon.
There's a couple. Yeah, absolutely. That's nice to see that attitude for a change. Hopefully more and more people start feeling that way.
That's why they got so much, because they didn't go in with the mindset and the attitude of, oh, this is all crap, blah, blah, blah. That she went in with a mindset of
It helps.
something could happen.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Which is,
Always helps. Of course, whatever you're doing, that attitude helps, but especially if you're doing
definitely.
anything spiritual like this, yes.
Yes.
So what's the third piece of news?
My favourite piece of news of the week.
It's Sally's favourite news piece, ladies and gentlemen, and when that happens, you know it's going to be a good one.
We still can't quite beat the toaster, but this is coming out well. I like this one.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we will ever top the haunted toaster.
What about haunted sandwich, toasted sandwich maker?
I think that's for haunted clutching at haunted straws.
Possibly. Away from electrical appliances, this is the guy from Black Eyed Peas. I'm really trying to come up with a ghostly pun to do with them. will.i.am believes his home studio is haunted by none other than Michael Jackson's ghost. He refuses to work there anymore because it's so haunted, and pretty much swept it under carpet when he went, I now use my laptop because I can take it with me at all times. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I thought.
will.i.am,
Yep.
desperate for attention.
He's not that desperate, he's on The Voice every week. Whenever
Is that still going?
Apparently every now and then it is, yeah.
I don't watch TV, I have no idea. If it's not Yesterday or Sci-Fi Channel, or Horror Channel, I'm not usually watching it.
My bumps, my ghostly bumpy bumps. That's the best I can come up
That's
with.
pretty
Paul,
dire, yeah. Yeah. Black Eyed Kids.
Oh. Oh, wow. Refer to last week's if you're not sure. Wow, that was terrible.
It was easy. Path of least resistance. Practicing for when I'm a poltergeist.
That's what she said. Sorry.
You have to have context to work. Anyway.
will.i.am.
So will.i.am, he doesn't put forward any actual experiences.
No.
And he doesn't put forward any even second-hand knowledge.
No. The news paragraph, put your hand out in front of you and look at your palm. The news story is probably the same size as that in about size 12 font. It could only have been worse if it was in Comic Sans. But it's literally just, this guy, it basically just tells you that will.i.am is 37. He thinks his home studio is haunted. He refuses to work there. He now goes on his laptop so he can take it anywhere. And he was the founder of Black Eyed Peas.
But if your studio's haunted by Michael Jackson, that's not that bad.
My point being...
It's not like it's haunted by a highwayman.
I thought you were about to say by a paedophile.
No,
We're going to have that conversation.
Which was never proven in the court of law, so we're not going to mention it on the podcast. But at the same time, it's not like he's the ghost of a murderer.
No.
If anything, if I had to have a ghost in my house, I would have to say that my dream haunting would be someone who was famous for shutting himself away and never bothering anyone.
Yeah. I've got to admit, obviously will.i.am does pop music, that is what he does. Mm-hmm. He produces it, he makes it, whatever. Surely, your best ghost to have would be someone who had multiple number ones.
Possibly the most famous pop star of the 20th century.
Even after he died, from like the age of 5 to the age till the day he died, he was famous for his pop music.
Yeah.
Why would you not want that?
Well,
why would you not want to hit that?
He's not actually
studio?
had it exercised either, though. He's just leaving this studio to rot.
Yeah, basically.
Which must piss off Michael Jackson.
Pretty much.
I feel sorry for Michael Jackson.
It's bad. I'm sorry. That's the only one I can come up with, and I'm not going to sing anymore. There is one way to get rid of the ghost. Could just beat it.
Yeah. If only Michael Jackson had a really famous song about ghosts and monsters, but oh well, we weren't that lucky. Jesus Christ.
I couldn't put the name Thriller into an actual pun, alright? It ruins it if you go, yeah, well, let's make a pun about the one with the ghost in it.
Well, I wasn't trying for a pun, I was making a pop culture reference. I do those occasionally.
Hipster.
I was alive before it was cool.
Michael Jackson was dead before it was cool. I think. Don't know.
I was haunting will.i.am before it was cool.
It's just weird.
No.
But my point being, why would Michael Jackson choose to haunt will.i.am as well?
It's let's be honest, that is an awful, awful amount of ego on the part of Will.i.am, which, going on what I know about Will.i.am, is totally believable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why, if you were Michael Jackson, would you think, you know who I want to hang out with? The guy who wrote My Humps. Morgan's now doing the dance.
I wish that was a dance. That would be incredible.
I'm not allowed to dance anymore, according to
Law.
Sally Morgan.
Already, yeah, me too. So
Earlier on, she ordered me that I'm not allowed to Gangnam Style half naked through HMV and Blue Water.
Yeah, there's yeah.
I was banned.
Many times.
Mm.
No, I love the fact that so far we've had the haunted toaster, we've had the haunted studio, and
The haunted Black Eyed Pea.
that's just terrible. It just, like, first of all, we've had the devil haunting a toaster, and you go, that's pretty bad, that's funny, but what? And then Michael Jackson haunts a pop studio. Like, that one almost makes sense, which makes the story even worse.
Yeah.
I
With
mean,
a bit of effort, that could have been a really good story.
Yeah.
But instead, William said, yeah, I don't like it.
Exactly. It's like, we've covered a story of what is possibly a janitor who sacrificed his life to save children from burning to death, who now haunts where he died. That makes sense. Things like that. It makes sense. But this one almost makes sense, and it is so close to making sense. It makes none whatsoever.
Yeah. It's so frustratingly close to actually being cognitive.
Yeah, it's like saying you put bread into a toaster and it comes out as bread. It's so close to being right, it doesn't make any sense. I just like my toast references.
Yeah.
I just, why would you not, get this covered everywhere? And why would you not get this thing down, prove? Set up recorders, you've got a studio, you've obviously got decent microphones, set them up to record all night long, set a damn camera up, see what moves, see what goes on. There has obviously been something. To a normal person, there would obviously be something that would make you say it's been haunted by whoever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what a ghost could do that would make me say that's the ghost of Michael Jackson.
I can think of a few things.
But those were never proven in a court of law, so we won't be mentioning it on the podcast.
I don't know, maybe if it starts, dancing to the thriller
But
routine.
that would be pretty awesome, for sure. That would be my favourite ghost ever.
One glove turning up.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we came in to record the new album and there was just one white glove.
Just possible.
Sat there.
Maybe there was a black leather chair. Next day they came in and it was a white leather chair. It's all...
You are on fire tonight.
I know,
not
amazing.
literally.
Oh, I hope not. I'll be like that janitor. Yay, reference!
Yeah, callback, like it.
Well done, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has got to be just... He needs a smack. If I ever see him, I'm just going to talk to him about this.
If he needs a smack for a lot of reasons. If I ever see him, it won't be the ghost of Michael Jackson that made me slap him. It will be My Humps.
My point being, I think we should take a bet as to roughly what we're going to find out next week. Haunted toaster. Haunted studio.
What's with the toast references?
I like toast. I had it for my dinner. I'm so happy. Don't give me that look.
Okay.
Did you never have egg and soldiers as a child?
Yes, of course I did.
Oh, good.
You didn't say that. You
Well,
said
your
you had
ghost
toast.
will be a happy ghost.
You just said you had
I
toast.
know, but your ghost will be a happy
Ghost.
Go, no, that doesn't work. Ignore that comment. It's going to combine the two words.
A combination of ghost and toast.
Yep.
Would be either toast or ghost.
It is possible. Thanks, Enfield. Yeah, so we've gone from a toaster to a studio. I want to see what we can choose next that has no reference to those two, because they're not connected. So which do you think is going to be haunted next week?
I think it's about time, and even Stephen King hasn't gone for this one yet. I think it's about time we had a haunted filing cabinet.
A haunted filing cabinet.
Well, we said earlier they like pulling out drawers and stuff or sliding across it. I think with drawers on wheels, it's right, and it could do really nefarious things like move things ever so slightly out of alphabetical or sequential order.
Oh, go ACB.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll screw up all the OCDs we know.
It could spell things by throwing out certain or lettered files.
Damn it, this one only goes to Q.
Yeah. But yeah, haunted filing cabinet, I think, is about time.
Gotcha.
What do you reckon?
I really hope for something quite interesting. I'm trying to think. I think a toy shop would be quite nice.
Haunted toy shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, think, if you get a ghost that dies, why not go to somewhere like Toys R Us and be happy forever?
It's quite a famous Toys R Us ghost as a
Really?
photo of, yeah.
Well,
It's one of those photos which, unless you know the story behind it, doesn't actually strike you as that creepy, because it's I think it's from a security camera. I think it's a security camera. It's a while since I've seen it, and it's some kids gathered round on the floor in the aisle while someone's doing a shop demonstration, and there's a guy just standing about 6 to 8 feet back from them, just kind of leaning one hand on the shelf and watching them, but he only turned up on film. He wasn't actually there. Yeah, it's... Whereas if you don't know the story behind it, he just looks like a guy who's there.
He's just standing and staring at children.
That's quite who may or may not haunt Will.i.am. There's it's one of those photos which, unless you know the story behind it, it's like the girl in the burning building. Burnt out building. That was recently debunked, actually, or they're trying to debunk it. There's a burning which builded down, and allegedly it was burnt down by a young girl. And there's a famous picture of taken in the ruins of this girl in Victorian clothing standing at the door. But they've recently found what they think is another picture of the same girl in the same pose. So they're wondering if it's photoshopped by. And I've seen them, and it's possible, but to me it doesn't match up enough. To me it just looks like either the same girl in a different pose or pure coincidence. It doesn't quite sync up enough for me. I think that's probably still quite legit.
You'll probably enjoy a story that I have then about burning buildings.
Okay.
Which I'm really sorry makes you sound like a terrible person. I know you don't have a fetish for burning buildings. Possibly. There's a story, and it is on the internet on a website, and hopefully if they're really nice I can release the name next week. But it's basically a load of stories that, you like, oh, don't turn around, there's someone behind you, going to kill you. It's basically all the internet stories, but there is one, and it really struck me. It's the story basically of a load of pictures, and they had the main thing in each of them was a child with one tear on his face, and that was the main feature with like different backgrounds. And all the houses they went to burnt down. And all that was left remaining was the picture of these children, and they were completely untouched by the fire. And you're like, okay, normal ghost story. That is until you remember reading it about 5 years prior in your local
news.
You
talking about the crying child painting?
Yeah, in the newspaper.
It's quite a famous legend.
But it creeped me out because I remember I saw it on the internet. I was like, that rings a bell.
Yeah, crying child's quite famous for that, yeah.
But it's the fact that it was actually in a newspaper,
which
then makes me read all these other stories and go, if that one's from a newspaper,
I remember,
how many of the other ones?
I think it was Steve Punt did a documentary on Radio 4 on it. A while ago, a couple of years ago now.
I think it's one that a few people know of, but when they get reminded...
He said he interviewed a few firemen, and quite a few of them said there was a few buildings they'd done, and the crying child picture was, lying protected and totally unburnt in wreckage. And a theory that was put forward to explain it was the frame that it was issued with was quite chunky and actually surprisingly flame retardant. However, the string which was used to hang it on the nail on the wall wasn't. And so the heat would hit, the string would snap to the heat, and it would fall down, and the painting would be protected by the large, chunky, fire-resistant frame.
Is that true?
That's the theory for it. It's not conclusively proven, but a lot of times this painting was. But if that theory was 100% true, why weren't you noticing it more with other paintings? Why was it this painting in particular?
Surely as well there'd be some smoke damage to it.
Assume,
before the fire got to it, there'd be smoke damage. And there is.
It's a bit like these
pictures are coming out brand new.
You got the haunted eBay painting as well, which was called "The Hands Resist Him" or "His Hand" or "Hands Resist Him," something like that. It's a genuinely creepy picture, and that was supposedly pitched up as being a haunted picture on eBay. That was one of the first haunted items to on eBay.
I think next week we should talk about the couple of possessed things that we've as well. Which
like the haunted Stitch doll.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
If
the haunted Stitch doll is. Sadly, there's only the eBay listing for it. I don't know what happened to it after the eBay listing closed. And there's obviously it's just a private diary and a private listing. There's no extra information to research. But if what they claim about this haunted Stitch doll was true, it's one of the only cases of an actual entity that I'm aware of, which I'm incredibly aware, and incredibly nasty and incredibly horrible things. Is that all the news we've got this week?
That is.
Yeah.
There's no... All the ghosts seem to have gone on holiday this week.
Yeah, I mean, those were pretty much American, weren't they? It must be quiet time.
America.
They got tired over Halloween, that's what it was.
Thanksgiving.
They'll be
They ate too much. Maybe they got bloated.
Yeah. But I'm sure the ghosts will be back over here next time, because next time it'll be December, and there's nothing quite like a Christmas ghost story.
Oh, got lost
Yeah.
screwed.
Which is why December 18th,
Yay.
we're doing the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk is once again back. It is running on Tuesday the 18th of December from meeting at Rochester train station from 7:30, start walking at 8 sharp. It's roughly an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes long. I'll take you along various different routes, different locations, stopping for a story at each. I may even dig up a special Christmas story for this particular show. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So available, they're £9 each. They're available either from leeenfieldentertainment.com, or alternatively you can go straight to wegottickets.com/leeenfield. Spaces are very limited for that one, so if you are interested in going, please do book your tickets up in advance. Looking ahead to 2013, we also...
Yay.
Sally's face just lit up.
I'm so happy.
We hoped to be able to confirm this last week. We now can. Lee Enfield and Sally Morgan are going back to the George Vault in Rochester. We will be going on Tuesday the 29th of January. There will be Kanzari cards, glass moving, pendulums, blackout sounds, and a continuing investigation into all the spirits and all of the ghosts that live down in the vault. So it was a lot of fun last time, a lot of activity. We had manifestations, we had spirit touches, we had cold spots. It's such a great place to be. Tickets for that will be on sale. They're not on sale yet, they're on sale very, very soon. They are £20 each.
Start saving.
And again, spaces off of that are extremely limited, so if you can, please book in advance, because we don't want anyone disappointed.
No.
Also, Friday, the 1st of February, your little face just lit up again. Would you like to tell them? Would you like to tell everyone where we're going? You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, we will be doing a late night ghost hunt at the Black Horse in Pluckley, which is one of the most haunted pubs in the world, in what is, according to the Guinness Book of Records, the most haunted village in Britain. And once again, there will be we'll be doing opening routines. It will be a full deal. It will be pendulums, blackout seances, a short ghost walk. Dinner is included as well. Price tag will be a little higher because obviously you've got food and a longer rental time required.
Can we have toast? You
can have toast. We'll have a final price confirmed for those next week, and again, spaces will be limited as well all our shows, because if you come, I feel if you come to one of our shows, you don't want it big and busy. Our shows need to be small.
They're quite personal.
Yeah.
We want to be able to get everyone involved with everything we do. We don't want half the audience sitting there going, oh.
Yeah, so that's why our shows are small, but they are a lot of fun, a lot of activity. So that's two great dates coming up, and that's only taking us up to the beginning of February so far. It's going to be an awesome year.
Yay!
Yeah. This is a Paranormalcast. I'm Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgan.
Bye.